Round 20 is over, and I don't think there's more of a bigger disappointment than the Gold Coast Suns. I mean, what the hell is going on at Gold Coast? They lost to Carlton. It's their 9th loss in a row. So we're going to talk about the Gold Coast Suns today, and we're going to see what some of the issues are, and are they fixable, or are they just going to rot down the bottom of the ladder like they have in their first however many years in the competition? So the game against Carlton, they started off quite well, actually. They kicked the first 3 goals of the game. They had an 18-1 lead. And then Carlton just took off from there. They kicked the next 3. And it was back and forth pretty much the entire game. Like, Carlton had control of the game for the most part, but the Suns just couldn't capitalise inside 50. Their efficiency was terrible. They were undisciplined, and they were getting destroyed in the midfield. And that's where most of their issues have come from this year, is actually the midfield, and that's quite surprising. When you look at their midfield list, you see who's in the centre bounce and stuff like that, you would probably argue that off of talent, they've probably got the best centre bounce rotation in the comp. You've got Noah Anderson, their captain, you've got a Brownlow medalist and Matt Rao, and then you've got the new addition of Christian Petrarca, as well as other guys like Tuke Miller, Bailey Humphrey, guys that can rotate in that centre bounce and give them real opportunity, but they're getting smacked at clearance. Jared Witts has completely played himself out of the team. They've got Ned Moyle now in the ruck, and they're not really doing anything. They're getting smacked in contested footy, they're turning the ball over more, and they're not defending the ground. In their defence, Sam Collins is only a one-man band down there. Mac Andrews getting moved here, there, and everywhere. You've got guys like Noble and Rioli that are decent with the footy, but they're attacking defenders. They don't actually defend. They get the footy and they run with it. So I don't know what the issue is at the Suns at the moment, but I think we can kind of dumb it down into a few simple things. I think one thing could potentially be the coach, Damien Hardwick. I think he could potentially be getting found out as a coach, and that it's crazy to say because he's a 3-time premiership coach, but clearly whatever message he's trying to send to these players, it's not working. During the game, there was a forward 50 stoppage where Christian Petrarca was trying to clear space to obviously create an open shot at goal. Leo Lombard, the 19-year-old young fella, I'm not sure if he's a rookie or not, might be second-year player, he took the space Petrarca was trying to create, took the footy, got pinned for holding the ball. Petrarca, as a leader of that footy club, yes, leader, I know it's his first season there, but he is on, the north side of 20, or he might be in his early 30s. He's one of the oldest guys there. He then spits the dummy at this 19-year-old Leo Lombard, and Lombard tells him to F off. Now that's kind of crazy when you think about it in context. Leo Lombard's only played about, 15 odd games of his career. He's telling Petrarca, a Norm Smith medalist, to F off. I know some people might not read too much into that, but I think there's something underlying there. It could be, chemistry issues. It could be Petrarca being selfish, could be Lombard not listening to instructions, but there's clear disconnect on the field when it comes to their cohesion. And that falls back down onto the coach. The coach is starting to lose the players. And speaking of losing players, during the week we've now found out that Ben King, who's an unrestricted free agent, I think, or restricted free agent, has told his teammates he wants to go to Hawthorn. Right? But he's willing to take a pay cut to go to the Hawks. So not only is your best forward wanting to leave the club, he's willing to take a pay cut to do so. They could throw so much money at Ben King. They could throw, a long contract. We've seen these contracts in the AFL. They could throw 10 years at Ben King at nearly $2 million. But he's willing to take a pay cut to leave this team. Matt Rao, only last year, signed an extension to stay. I think if this season that's happening in 2026 happened last year, I don't think Matt Rao re-signs with the Gold Coast Suns. And there's potentially a good case for him to request the trade, because he only signed a short-term contract. So could we see Matt Rao potentially ask out? And then if Petrarca, what's he going to do? If he sees King and Rao, does he jump ship again? Does he leave? And that just leaves another hole that the Suns can't fill. Because we've seen this story again and again. We've seen Jagger O'Meara, Dion Prestia, Tom Lynch, Stephen May, Gary Ablett to some extent. All these guys that are quality players, they end up leaving. And it's just rinse repeat. And the AFL cannot have the Gold Coast Suns, after winning their first maiden final, after 16 years in the competition, to now hit rock bottom again, with Tasmania about to come into the competition in 2028. So for the Suns, how do you fix this? You've got Bailey Humphrey, who's demanding huge money on the market. You've got Ben King that's leaving. How can you fill this void? Jed Walters re-signed, contract extension. There's talks about Jamara Ugle-Hagan potentially getting a 1-year extension. I don't think he's going to be much for them, but that's a story for another day. But I think Damien Hardwick needs to change his approach to how he's coaching his team. I don't think it responded well in the back end years of his tenure at the Tigers. I think that was partially the reason why he left. It's because his message wasn't getting through to the players anymore. And we're starting to see it kind of happen here at the Suns. And we haven't really seen any crazy development either from some of their young guys. They're kind of just wheeling out these academy and top draft picks and saying, well, we're losing games, so give us a crack and see how you go. And it's just not working. Their skill issues are beyond horrific. Like, I'll be watching the game, they can't make a 15-meter kick, they miss handballs, they refuse to tackle. I mean, the amount of broken tackles, it's ridiculous. And they're losing games against teams that they should easily beat. They lost to the Blues, who are on their level. They lost to the Pies at home by 6 points in a game they easily could have won. They ended up losing to North Melbourne. I mean, North Melbourne, respect, they've had a decent year, but they're still, on the up. They're still a bottom team. And they were winning majority of that game to the Suns. So it's just ridiculous that they're in this position after making finals last year. And if we're being honest, heads need to roll. Whether it's the CEO, the coach, or something needs to change at the Gold Coast Suns, because we cannot have another year of mediocrity from the Gold Coast Suns. They need to be up there, because the amount of assistance and the amount of work the AFL have put into this franchise to make them a competitive club, we cannot have them at the bottom of the ladder once again with another top draft pick after academy pick after academy pick. They've got that many top draft picks on their team. They can't afford to have this situation happen again. And they need to be better at recruiting. There's talks of them going after Zach Merritt and stuff like that. And they don't need these superstars. They need role players. And you watch them play, and the players don't look like they know what their role is. It's just see ball, get ball. So I hope for Gold Coast Suns fans that, this off-season isn't as harsh as what the media is kind of playing it out to be. I think that they'll be able to find some decent recruits. Losing Ben King might not be the end of the world, but they might be able to retool, restructure, and have probably a better impact with less commodity around the team next season. So let me know what you guys think about the Gold Coast Suns. Do you think it's fixable? Do you think that they can, fix whatever the hell's going on at the club? Does Damien Hardwick need to be sacked? Do you think there is a solution, or do you think that they're just going to, bottom out again? I hope you guys enjoyed this little rant-ish type of video. I appreciate all the love and support on the videos. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll make sure to reply to you guys, and I'll see you guys next week for another video. Peace.